Good afternoon, everybody. I'm sure that I speak for everyone in the room how incredibly inspiring and humbling every story we've heard so far is. And it's our privilege at Cushman & Wakefield, along with one of my partners, David Downey, longtime board member of Goodwill, and a table full of colleagues. It's really our privilege to keep those stories going. So I'm here to introduce the Goodwill Graduate of the Year, which is an award given to the individual who has graduated from one of Goodwill's workforce development training programs, obtained a job, and excelled as an employee. This year's winner is David Towns. David came to Goodwill, please. David came to Goodwill with many barriers to employment, including homelessness, physical and mental health concerns, and a criminal background. He also came with a positive attitude, constantly wanting to improve himself. At Goodwill, he's achieved the following: 4 weeks of job readiness training, 12 weeks of clerical and computer training, participation in the Transitional Work Program for 20 weeks, and 3 weeks of National Retail Federation certificate training. David took all this initiative to utilize these programs to achieve self-sufficiency. During some of his time in the program, David lived at a shelter with strict reporting time guidelines and less than ideal sleeping conditions. The National Retail Federation certificate allowed him to regain self-confidence in obtaining a nationally accredited certificate of employment. He is currently working full-time as a sales associate in the men's department of Macy's in Towson Town Center, and he receives hourly pay and commission. Because of his successes, David was given the opportunity to attend and speak at the 2018 National Retail Federation Gala in New York City as a special guest. He was provided travel, hotel accommodations, spending money, and a black tie attire by Macy's. David's future goals are to work to mentor others, to overcome barriers. He would like to encourage others to better themselves through training and certifications, and to obtain those goals no matter what the age or previous circumstances. Dave also wants to continue his career in retail, working his way into upper management position. Please join me in congratulating David Towns.
Thank you, thank you. Hello, everyone. It's a privilege, it's an honor to be here. I want to start off by saying I love Goodwill. I do. When I came to Goodwill, I was at the end of my rope, had contemplated suicide even, was out on the streets, drug user for over 50 years. Had lost all hope for getting back into mainstream life, especially getting a job. While in the mission, I had a moment of clarity that I thank God for. And I thought of Goodwill, whom I had a little experience before, a few years before I'd gone to Goodwill to participate in one of the programs there, but I wasn't ready. And I ended up going back out using, of course. But things were different for me this time. As I said, I was at the end of my rope, and it was either, I was going to make it, survive, or I was just going to give up. Thank God I decided to persevere and go to Goodwill. This is where my life began to change. When I say I love Goodwill, it's because when you have nothing, to live for, nothing to look forward to, and then all of a sudden you're in this environment where people actually care, and they show that through the hard work that they do. And on many occasions, trust me, they go above and beyond what they're paid to do. And I appreciate that. I owe a lot of thanks, gratitude to Goodwill for the opportunity that they gave me and that I was able to take advantage of. In beginning to name people, it'd be kind of difficult because we don't have that much time. So I do want to recognize my job coach, who's here with me today, Miss Tiffany Hill, who is also my counselor, therapist, attorney. You know, Miss Hill, if you could please stand. Thank you, thank you. Miss Harris, Lauren Harris, I don't know if she's here, I haven't seen her, but she's my case manager. Oh, there's Miss Harris. Hi, hi. Wow. The things that this lady knows of me, wow. She's been a great inspiration in my life as well. I really don't know where I would be today if I didn't have these two women in my life. They've helped me so tremendously over the past couple of years. And I truly thank you, you both, for helping me to not just have a better life, but in helping me to save my life. A lot of you don't know me, and I'd like to share something real quick. I went to a Safeway one day, and there's this lady. She had to be in her late 70s, early 80s. I walk in the Safeway. I'm going to get a loaf of bread. She starts crying and digging through her purse. So I go over to her. I don't know what's going on. I said, "Ma'am, are you okay?" She starts saying, "You don't understand. You don't understand." And she's digging through her purse. And I think she maybe is looking for medication or something. And I'm like, "Well, is there anything I can do, miss? Anything I can do?" And she's like, "You don't understand. You don't understand." And she's crying and digging through her purse, shaking. So a security officer comes over, and as if I'm bothering her, you know, he says, "Is everything okay here, man?" And I said, "Well, sir, when I came in, she's just doing what she's doing now," and she wouldn't say anything. So finally, the lady pulls out a picture. It's a picture of her son. He looks exactly like me. He had met a tragic end in Iraq, unfortunately, and she was saying it was a godsend, that I was a godsend because I reminded her so much of her son. And I began to, well, the security officer said, "Is everything okay now?" I said, "Yeah, sure, sure." The lady said, yeah, everything is okay. So I began to walk around the store. She collected her groceries, and we were conversating. She kept calling me son, which I could understand, and I appreciated. My heart went out to her. And she just kept saying, "Son, oh, tell me about yourself." And I told her I was a Baltimorean and that what I was going through at the time, living at the shelter and so forth. And by the end of the time we finished her groceries, she said, "Son, well, if I invited you to dinner on Sunday, would you come?" And I started calling her Mom. I said, "Sure, Mom, I'll come to dinner." And she said, "Would you really?" I said, "Yeah." So she said, "Okay, great." So we get up to the cash register and exchange numbers. And she gives me a kiss on the cheek and says, "Okay, son, well, I'll see you Sunday." I kiss her back on the cheek and I say, "Okay, Mom, yeah, I'll be there Sunday. I'll see you Sunday." So she leaves, and I go to pay for my bread, and the lady says it's like $78. I'm like, "Wait, $78? I only have a loaf of bread here." She said, "Yeah, but your mom says you're going to pay for the groceries." I said, "That's not my mother." I said, "Hold on." I gave the lady my card, and I ran out there, and the lady was throwing the groceries in the car. So I ran up there, and I pulled her leg just like I'm pulling yours. The moral behind that story, we all have feelings. For some of you may have experienced a flux of different emotions there. It was meant to do that. A lot of us, I know me, I had lost a lot of my feelings in life. I didn't care about anything or anyone else Today, I make it a point to speak to as many people as I can. Just walking down the street, I'm surprised at the responses that I get, but I still try to do my part. And that's what I mostly remember about Goodwill. Just the people, the caring there is just tremendous. It's a life-changing experience. So I thank everyone that contributes to Goodwill, because it does help save lives. It really does. Thank you so much. May God bless you all.